What is going on, guys? It is Jarrell, and I'm with Bjarni. He is funded with, I believe, $200,000. Right?
Yes, that's
All right.
correct.
Real quick, what we like to do is just tell us about your whole journey from like the first day you started training, or when you started to learn trading and all that, and we could just basically go from there.
Okay, all right. Um, so I actually started trading probably around 5 years ago. Uh, yeah, I would say so, approximately 5 years. And my initial introduction to trading, it was maybe a bit uh, strange. I was kind of drawn into this online personalized showcases, where people would be showing their profits or Ferraris or stuff like that.
Right.
However, I kind of realized pretty soon that, these claims were kind of exaggerated and sometimes just false. But with, let's see, myself, but I started to invest probably just in education, online courses, genuine online courses, where I would get like deep understanding of trading,
Right.
and from there I kind of started investing my own capital um, to my account. So I had no idea back then that there was any prop firms available, or anything like that. So I was just putting in my own money. And in the beginning, of course, I was losing a lot of money. I mean, I think every
Right.
trader goes through that. Uh, However, I kind of realized also that I would need more capital if I wanted to make significant profits, I guess. So that's kind of when I discovered the prop firms, when they actually give you the means to do, to
Trading
make big
capital.
profits. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So ever since then, I've kind of just been climbing up the trading ladder, I guess.
You talked about courses and all that. Like, how much do you think you've spent on like courses and just learning?
Wow, I'm not really sure.
Like, just approximate. Like,
Yeah,
how much would you
probably
say?
probably $1,000, $2,000 actually.
And how much did you like fund your first account with?
In the beginning, I started funding, of course, just with small amounts. And I actually think if I remember correctly, I think I put in one time like $8,000 and I lost it all.
No way.
Yeah.
How long was that like account alive for?
I guess it didn't take too long actually, because this was about the time when I was kind of getting to know this. I was kind of an amateur. I was pretty less prepared, I guess, back then. But
Right.
at the moment now, I've started to understand much more, of course, how discipline and strategy and everything is. It's much more profitable, I guess, than being reckless.
That's true, right?
Yeah.
So what was like the purpose for you? Like, 5 years ago you started trading. Like what was I guess the light for you? Like what kind of ignited that in you?
I've always kind of been interested and fascinated by trading charts, and I guess my primary motivation was kind of the financial freedom. I guess that everybody kind of goes into trading, probably,
Right.
because they want to make money, I guess. I am an entrepreneur and I'm from Iceland, so I'm also
Iceland?
in other, yeah, I
That's
forgot to
cool.
mention that. So yeah, I'm from Iceland. I'm 29, and even though I'm trading a lot, I still have established successful companies in Iceland. Um,
Really? Wow.
yeah, so I am
So,
working
oh,
also in, yeah, I have
no.
multiple businesses here, like a food production company and real estate, and also actually tourism. I do touring with people from all over the world. I have a guest house, so there's a lot of things going on. But I guess what I
Wow.
trading, to be honest, it can give you much more, for the time, like what I mean, like
Right.
versus the time you put in. So at the moment, I'm very happy with doing trading as well.
So how long does like or like let's just say, right, your work day, like maybe on a Tuesday for you, like what is your day looking like with trading?
I'll be looking at the charts usually in the morning, going over things, seeing if there's any opportunities. And usually, what I like to do is I like to do the trades in the morning, not while I'm on the run all over. I want to be at the charts in the office, pretty much at my home, because my days are usually just all over. And I've noticed that, if I put in some trades and I'm not watching it, it can end up badly. But of
Right.
course, if you have your stop loss and take profit on it, it's then of course much better. But it's much better to be, I guess, in front of the charts. So I like to do it in the morning usually right before the New York market starts.
Oh, okay. So what
Um,
time is that usually for you? Because I know like the whole different time
Yeah.
zones is
So
pretty
I'm usually
weird.
waking up when the London market is session is going on, and then around I think 11 or something, that's when the New York market starts to hit. So usually I like to have
Right.
found the opportunities before that.
Oh, okay, got you. And then after, do you only trade the New York session or do you
London or
take
New
a look
York,
at, oh,
yeah.
okay. Do you have like,
Sometimes, I mean,
oh,
sometimes in the London session, I do great trades, only, yeah. But I've noticed, of course, with the um, American session, there's a lot more movement and momentum going on in the market.
yeah, that's true. Like usually I believe like off the New York Open, that's when stops are ran and all that. And
Yeah.
do you like usually wait for, I guess, how do I say this? Like, do you usually wait to like the bell, or do you like wait like 30 minutes after, or just usually when your setup comes up?
It just depends pretty much.
Yeah.
Depends on how things are looking. I also like to look at all the fundamentals, So I pretty much check out all the economic calendars and everything just to see what's going on. I don't like trading during news events or anything like that.
Right, right.
But I think these fundamental analyses are important, and I think a lot of people maybe don't think about them often. I didn't think about them first in the beginning when I started trading.
Right, right.
Um, so it's not just the patterns or the charts, it's also the fundamentals.
True, true. So just moving on from that, right? So I believe you're just funded with $200,000, right? So how much, like in total, are you like allocating right now? Just with
So
us, or
I started out with another prop firm before I moved over to you guys.
right?
And I think uh, I was with them for about a year, and I think I've been with you guys for a couple of months now.
Mhm.
And at the moment, I'm only working with you guys. So all the profits that I took out from the other prop firms, I've just taken them out, and I've allocated them in my businesses pretty much. For example, real estate and stuff.
So you just been using the capital and basically just reinvesting it to your
Yeah.
businesses. That's really good. Dang. So what did you like do with like your first payout with like your whole prop firm experience? How did that
I
go?
think my first payout was after I actually blew up several accounts with the other prop firm. But I remember my first payout was I think $10,000, and I remember I was ecstatic, that it worked, and I got the payment because I was skeptical at first with prop firms, as probably a lot of traders are. But yeah, I think it was $10,000, and overall, I think I have taken out around probably now with the latest withdrawal around $80,000 overall.
$80,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
and so
So oh, go on.
yeah, go ahead.
So like what made you like switch over to instant funding and you just completely dropped the other prop firms and
Pretty much,
traded
yeah.
with us? Like why? What was the reason there?
Cool. I noticed that you had pretty good customer service. You answered pretty quickly. Everybody answered pretty quickly, and also I think the fast payouts was also pretty appealing. I feel like I've noticed now I've taken out a couple of withdrawals from you, and they're pretty much instant. The same day. You
Instant,
can
yeah.
also have, yeah, you can take a weekly. So there was a lot of things that were appealing in instant funding, and I must say I've really lived up to that. You guys are pretty amazing.
So like what was I guess one of the key points? Like is it the drawdown? Is it just the
Yeah,
rules? Like
exactly. Especially the drawdown, the rules. like I said, quick payouts, prompt responses. It's I've had a really positive experience with you guys. And I
That's good.
guess that's what I'm kind of saying. I think the other prop firm that I was with, I had a nice experience, but still everything was kind of delayed. It took a long time to get payouts. They didn't have the smart drawdown. They had much more rules regarding trading,
Right.
which I mean is fine. I mean, I must say prop firms have actually taught me a lot to, of the discipline and everything. So I'm really happy with it. But sometimes you have to give the traders, I guess, more freedom, and I think instant funding does that definitely.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
So just like, going back to your whole start of your trading journey and all that, like
Mhm.
what are some difficulties that you faced in, like if you were to go back 5 years ago, I believe that's like 2018,
Yeah.
what would you tell yourself? Like, you know, just some tips, like what would you say?
I think, one of my primary challenges was always that I was kind of using too large lot sizes. And, I was definitely neglecting, to set stop losses in the
Right,
beginning. And, that kind of resulted in that I was blowing accounts. So if I would go back, I guess I would prioritize much better, risk management. And yeah, because first I didn't really listen to things when people were saying risk management. But I guess
right.
if I could go back, I would say, hey, Bjarni, think about the risk management.
Start putting stop losses.
Yeah,
Start putting
exactly.
them.
And you
Yeah,
don't
all
have
right.
to do these huge lot sizes. I was crazy in the beginning, but yeah, and I think
Did you
most
like
traders
go
do.
on full leverage or
Yeah, oh, yeah, I was but a crazy leverage, huge lot
yeah.
sizes, no stop loss, and I was gonna defeat the world. But yeah,
Dang, all right. So I guess in your whole 5 years, how long did it like take you to, actually start seeing you from going negative to break even to actually
Mhm.
making profits and all that? How long like in that journey?
I think like a year and a half when I started. It wasn't really until I started using these prop firms, like yourselves. Of course, I had lost a lot when I had my own money in my own account, but I also had withdrawn a lot of money also. And I was always kind of at the break even point over there. But as soon as I realized the potential with prop firms, that's pretty much when I started doing significant profits, I guess. And
Right.
so that would be around a year and a half when I withdraw the first 10,000.
A year and a half since you started or a
Yeah,
year and
no,
a half ago?
since now, a year and a
Oh,
half ago. Yeah,
oh, okay. So it took you
yeah,
like 3 years to finally
yeah,
like get it down and then boom.
pretty much.
Dang. So 3 years of just hard work and all that is just got to put your head down and obviously
I
like
know. And I think maybe a lot of people are
profits will
concerned
come
when they
in.
hear that, but I mean, everything is a school and it takes time to learn stuff, especially when you're doing it on your own. But like I said, I
Yeah.
did some genuine courses online where I found and got the education that I needed. And that's kind of what I consistently need to be thinking about is that I am consistently learning new methods and yeah, thinking about what was my fault in the beginning, why I was losing money in the beginning.
Right, right. So, so for sure, right? Like since you started, your mindset has like completely changed. So,
Pretty much, yeah.
how did like that get to that point? I would say like how did it change from when you first started? Like what were you doing from the beginning and then, what sort of honed your mentality?
I think it's just like initially I approached trading with such enthusiasm, but really not that much preparation, just like we kind of been going on. But now I really, I understand the importance of discipline, of strategy, and consistent learning. Like I said, I think it's a consistent kind of learning thing, and you're not going to be
Right,
profitable
yeah.
for the first year or two or three, like me. But if you're consistent like I was, I mean, there were so many times when I was just like, okay, no, now I'm just quitting. But you kind of have to just take that mindset out and but like be consistent. Um,
Yeah, I
and
feel like if you're not a real trader if you don't think about quitting so many
yeah,
times.
yeah,
Thinking about all
definitely.
the accounts you've blown and you're just like it's so like drowning, and it's just like, dang.
Definitely.
So
Definitely. But it's worth it, especially if you become profitable, definitely.
exactly, like trading literally has like no ceiling, like no limit as to how
Yeah,
much you can make. Like
exactly.
in a given work day, right? Like people work a 9 to 5 and their rates, they're making like maybe $25 an hour. That's like, what is that? 400, $200 in a day for
Exactly.
8 hours. But
Yeah.
in trading with like, especially with prop firms too, you get like, for yourself, you have a $200,000 account, you could just make 1%.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. It's
or
more,
or
I know
like,
that's what I was kind of getting into in the beginning. Like you can make so much money in trading with little time, but even me as an entrepreneur doing all these things, of course, we make a lot of money, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of work also.
especially, yeah,
So
since you're an entrepreneur,
yeah,
like
that's
being your own boss and all that.
definitely, you're kind of always on the job and always working and everything. But with trading, I see that there is definitely potential to put a really good financial freedom without the big stress, especially if you can get your emotions in line when it comes to trading.
Right,
That's
right,
also a
yeah,
big factor, like when you're in the loss or something, the when you start trading emotionally.
right.
And
So, oh, like let's just say, right, you're in a trade, you're in profits or losses. How do you remain calm and all that? Is there anything like in your head that like clicks? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm up like $8,000. I can't, I'm trying to let this trade run, but I'm not trying to lose the 8,000. Like, what goes through your mind in that when you're in profits or losses?
when I'm in profit, I guess, back in the days, I used to much more look at, like how I wanted to go further and further, make much more money on the trade, especially if I had lost the day before, something like that. But now, when I'm in profit, I try to focus mainly on just on the gains and to avoid overconfidence.
Right.
I don't want to be, I'll much rather just lock in what I'm happy with and instead of like making it run too far. When I'm in losses, though, I guess I really just try to focus on the bigger picture, and uh, and try to avoid, like I said, the emotional trading. If I'm losing, or try to hold it as long as possible. I mean, I think we all do it sometimes, but this is just
Right. Yeah.
struggle with trading.
You just see the profits ticking every second the market ticks, and you're like, how
Yeah,
long does it keep going? But that's why we have, trading strategies and all that. So we're just
yeah.
gonna head into your trading strategy. So would you mind sharing your strategy and all that?
Yes, sure.
All
Myself.
right, cool. Yeah. You could just like load, I don't know what you trade on, like Trading View or
Yeah, I think I had it ready, like a trade that I did before the weekend, I think.
yeah, we could just go over that and all that. Um
So of course, like I said before, like I like to look at the fundamentals, but of course, when it comes to the chart, you kind of have to think about the technical analysis. And I RSI has helped me a lot, and of course, I look at all the other indicators like moving averages, and I don't use much of the Fibonacci retracement, but I like to keep my chart as simple as possible. And then I also like to trade often zones to zone. Like for example, in this trade right here, when I did this before the weekend, I noticed this is the GPT JPY, that it
yes.
was kind of at the zone where it has often been before. And when you're trading zone to zone, you kind of thinking if it's going to break through the zone or going back down or something like that.
Right.
And I use time frames all over, and I must admit I am a bit of a like an intra trader. I kind of like to scalp. Yeah, I
Right.
know that some people don't like it, but I've had big success with scalping. Of course, I do some swing trades, but overall, I'm doing shorter trades.
So when
But
you
yeah,
do scalp, right, how long does your trades look like? Is it like 3 minutes or like the 1 minute? Um,
sometimes, I mean, usually they're maybe for at least 30 minutes, sometimes up to an hour. But sometimes, of course, like in this case, I think it didn't take too long for it to reach the target that I wanted to reach. So in some
Right.
cases it doesn't take too long, but of course I've had, especially like today, there's a holiday going on in the US, so the market's pretty slow, and then
Yeah.
it can
Labor
take
Day.
overnight or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
if I do.
So, oh, so do you mainly just trade off like the RSI, or do you have like lines like resistance, support, and all that,
Yeah,
or
definitely. I definitely follow that, and I like to see if it's following some trends or something like that. Definitely.
right,
Um,
right, right.
but like in this case here, this was like I said before, I was kind of thinking that it wouldn't really go over the zone that I was talking about, and it would probably go back down. It's definitely on a downtrend. Um, and the RSI, it's kind of overbought, but usually I like to see it when it's kind of really overbought, like over here.
Hmm.
But still, I did put in this trade, and if we see, but how it went here, I think, yeah, it went pretty much. But see, still, it was, yeah,
Oh
sorry,
yeah,
like this, how it was with me. It almost went to my stop loss, but then it definitely went down.
that's good, bro. So you already had that stop loss set, right? Or
Yes,
oh, okay,
and you see,
that
it went.
was
I could have made
wow.
a lot more
Look
money,
at
even.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this was kind of beautiful, but I remember it came really close to my stop loss. And this has often happened to me when it's,
I cannot tell you how many times I've been in the trade and it would tag my stop loss by like 1 pip
yeah,
and instantly follow the whole fallout. I'm like, oh my
exactly.
gosh.
And
Wow.
I feel sometimes like the chart is doing this on purpose to me because it happens really often. Um,
Yeah,
and
it's like the market's targeting just your stop loss.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like there's
But
other stop losses going on, bro. Why mine?
exactly. But as you can see here, I mean, I thought it would just go back down here and then it might go up, but it eventually went even further. But like over there, I could have started another trade or something like that. But like there, I was just done for the day. I was just happy.
Right.
And,
So when you did enter in that trade, was it just like one order, or did you slowly like pyramid, there's like pyramid strategies and all that. Did you slowly scale into this, or was it just flat out X amount of lots and that's just how it is?
I usually like to put in two orders. And sometimes, when the trade's taking a little bit long and it's going down, then I'll maybe put in another position, if it's in profit
Right.
already. But I usually like to put in two orders, especially like in this case, I was doing a sell limit, and then usually I'll maybe close the other one and make the other one run a little bit further. So maybe like in this case, I could have just made it go over the one order, go over the target, and then have the other one run a little bit further. But in this case, I just closed the other one right away as well,
Nice.
because it was also just, I mean, it was nice profit for me, and yeah.
Right.
That's also kind of, over trading is also my enemy. You know,
Yes.
you're
Even
maybe making a
mine's
lot of
too.
profit after the day, and then you like to put in another trade, and then you lose the profit. So,
Right.
so I usually don't like over trading also.
Do you limit yourself into like maybe 3, 5 trades, or if you lose one trade after winning one, do you stop right there? Like, what are your rules for yourself when you're trading?
If I'm losing, I sometimes feel like it's just not my day. Like if the first trade goes wrong, and I'm like, then I'll wait, but even till the next day, I'll just stop trading
Right.
during the day. If I do well in one trade, I might do another trade as well. But like I said, I used to overtrade when I started, and it didn't work out. So now I think it's much better just to analyze pretty much one trade, and try to get one good trade in the day. That's also just great. I
Right.
mean, I think this trade made me like $2,000, and that's in it for a day's work, especially this work. It didn't take too long.
Yeah,
um,
what is this on the 5 minute? That looked like it was just
yeah,
30
it was
minutes, it
like a
looks
30
like.
minutes or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty quick.
Dang.
Um,
Um, oh, so like obviously from when you were doing your whole challenge on this $200,000 account, and now you finally got funded. Like, what were you trading the same way, or were you like, I guess, kind of utilizing your daily loss to get funded, and then when you switched over to being funded, did you lessen the risk? Like, how did
Yeah,
anything like transition from your funding stage or your
rather than
qualifying
the
stage? How
challenge.
did that
Or
go? Yeah.
so when I'm in challenges, I must admit, I did a few challenges before I got funded with instant funding, and it's a little bit of I'm always trying to get as fast through the challenge as possible because I didn't,
Right.
yeah, because I went through the one phase challenge,
Right.
and so I must say the trading during challenge is that's it was a much more I guess much more dangerous trading, I guess, because I was trying to do it as quick as possible. So as soon as I
Right.
get a lot of times when I started with the other prop firm, a lot of the times when I did get funded, um, I also was doing this behavior, like trading dangerously. And that's kind of how I blew the first account. So now, as I got funded with you guys, I'm much more relaxed, And I think a lot of people maybe are like this during the challenges, they're trying to hurry to get the challenge.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely right.
Yeah.
Because did you get funded within a day or a week or?
I think I can't remember, but it was just like 2 days, I think, or something like that. So it didn't take
Wow.
too long. And like I said, instant funding offers this great opportunity just to do a one phase challenge. I mean, most prop firms are doing the two phase challenges, and you guys
Right.
even have an instant funding way, which is, I think, amazing.
And the one phase for us is by far the best, like rules and all that. All the
Yeah,
other prop firms, their one phase, they trail your account. Like they do
yeah,
equity based and all that.
yeah,
But
definitely.
like especially if you're trying to, make money, become a trader, get funded right away, like that 10% starting max drawdown with the smart drawdown and all that,
Yeah,
it only moves like once you're in profits, like, and it's still static too. It's crazy how, instant funding is giving you these rules and allowing like people like you to get funded in 2 days.
exactly. And I think that's one of the reasons also why I moved over. And I can't remember how old this instant funding is. It?
We've launched, I believe, June of last year, so
Yeah.
it's over a year, I believe, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
and you're going strong, and I like it. But I really,
Yeah.
really enjoy instant funding and working with you guys. And like I said before, also with the payouts, the other prop firm that I was with, it often took forever to get the payouts. And when I got the payouts, I had to get a new, credentials and stuff like that. And it took just a couple of days, and I couldn't even trade anything.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I,
so
I guess that's why we have instant in our name.
yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. You're all instant, and there's
Right.
nothing better than withdrawing your, you can withdraw every week and getting the profits to your bank account or PayPal or whatever, but right the same day.
Right,
It's
right.
remarkable. Definitely great feeling.
Yep. Well, it's glad to see, you switched over. You basically dropped all the other prop firms and, traded with us. That's so amazing. We're basically gonna wrap it up. So just last question, right? What would be like your best advice you would give to a trader who is learning about trading, maybe a couple months in, they've blown thousands of dollars. What would be your advice to that trader?
I guess stay disciplined. Continuously educate yourself and don't be discouraged by failures, I guess. I mean, they are kind of the stepping stone to your success, I guess. My failures are the reason why I am successful today.
Right.
And
You can't
so,
go through this whole world without failing. Like
no,
it's not really losses, it's like lessons at the end of the day, especially if you're trying to be like you, an entrepreneur, like
yeah,
that fight against not having a boss and all that, being your own boss, taking
yeah,
advantage of your time.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And I
just
think that kind of mindset, I came in with that mindset probably because of my entrepreneur background, that failures, I kind of love failures because they will teach you and they will make you stronger and better and more successful. And yeah, like I said, like we are talking about before, it took me 3 years to become profitable. So it's a marathon, it's not a sprint.
exactly, exactly. Well, thank you, Bjarne, for your
For having
time.
me.